fuck Windows 8 for giving money to this show. Also, fuck Windows 8. So we're doing Zoo Review episode 8. Well, we had cats and we had bats, so we had to have rats.
A fisherman claims to have seen thousands of rats leaving the ship and swimming for shore. When local authorities boarded the vessel, they found the crew dead. Their bodies in a horrible condition, suggesting they had been attacked by the rats.
How did a few rats become thousands on the course of a trip across the Atlantic?
Well, if Mitch is right, and the mother cell is an accelerant, it may be by being exposed to it in a contained environment, it accelerated the reproductive nature of the rats.
Or we could be seeing it in rats first because they have a short gestation period. What if this is just the beginning?
We could face a massive population explosion in the entire animal kingdom.
Why would they assume that the sped up reproduction would apply to any other animal besides rats? Like, every mutation that we've seen in the show so far has been exclusive to whatever species. The lions had special communication, the bats had immunity to poison and ice wind, and the bears had super thick skin, and the rats got super reproductive capabilities, but the rats didn't get immunity to ice or an exoskeleton. But now, since the rats have this mutation, we're automatically assuming that all the animals are going to get this mutation, even though that doesn't fit into the pattern. Stop changing
but a swarm of lions.
The thing. It's fucking confusing. Besides the fact that none of it makes sense scientifically, it's just confusing.
Nobody quite understands it, but it's real.
We'll see you in a couple months, Henry. You just take care of this nice family of yours, okay?
Is that a common thing people say to dogs? Take care of your family? Like, the scientists said it to that dog in
you take care of these people.
Last episode, and now
take care
the
of this
vets
nice family of
said
yours,
it
okay?
again. I've never heard anyone say that to a dog. How does a dog take care of a person anyway? Like, what does that entail? Protect someone? I guess a dog could do that, or keep someone company, guide someone, but take care of someone? That just implies a lot more conscious effort than I think a dog would be willing to put into a person. I mean, if just the one guy had said it, or just the vet had said it, I guess it wouldn't have seemed as weird, but the fact that they both said it makes it seem like a common thing. I mean, seriously, I've never heard anyone say that.
He says that he has the mother cell and he's willing to give it back, but he needs something in return.
And I have to tell my daughter why she's dying. Your drug will cure her.
So there's been a subplot running for the last few episodes where, like, the scientist guy, he has this daughter who's chronically ill. So he has this plan to trade the mother cell to the CEO of Raiden Global in exchange for the cure for his daughter's disease. But when he goes to the Raiden offices to turn in the mother cell, he notices that the guy who is in charge of their world-saving team is also working for Raiden, which I guess makes him decide to not give him the mother cell, or maybe he had always planned to smash through the door with a chair and narrowly evade security. But, you know, it works out. It all works out. He gets away with the medicine and the mother cell, and, you know, everyone's kind of mad at him for, like, a scene, but what can you do? He's just a dad.
For my daughter.
He's just a dad trying to help his little girl. I assume the plotline with, like, the dying daughter is supposed to make this guy more relatable or, like, redeemable as a character.
That's me. Secret dad.
But his plan is so stupid that it just makes him more infuriating. Even if medicine cures his daughter, if he gives the mother cell away, and then she's just gonna get murdered by animals. The only reason that doesn't happen is because he, like, escapes with the mother cell and the medicine because he pulls some fucking action movie bullshit. What, there's not a single security guard anywhere on the floor near the boss's office? Oh, they did set the precedent of prison guards being terrible at their jobs.
Look, you have to let me out of here.
Maybe that extends to security guards also. So realistically, this guy should have gotten caught and had his ass beat. And then not only would his daughter still die of a horrible illness, but she would die in the midst of a killer animal, like, onslaught. She would see her friends and family torn to shreds by wolves and bears and rats and bats and cats.
Audra, where are you?
I'm at the park with Clem. We're trapped. The birds, Mitch. There's hundreds of them and they're attacking people.
This is Bird. Okay, so there are like a bunch of people running around, but then, like, once that lady with the stroller gets killed and the little girl runs out to save the baby, there's like no other bodies on the ground. There were so many birds. How did they only kill one person? Like, there are at least 100 birds. And they all, like, flew at that one lady. And there were, like, 20 or 30 people easily running around in that park in the first shot. So what, they all made it to safety except that one lady? Think about how unthreatening that is. That the birds, out of all the people in that park, the birds could only manage to kill, like, a lady who was pretty much just an easy target because she was slowed down by her baby stroller. It's like, oh, you don't want to get killed by birds? Just don't fucking wheel around a baby stroller. So they rescue the kid and her mom by spraying the birds with a fire hose. But the way they come up with the idea to use the fire hose is based on this, like, story that the scientist guy just spontaneously remembers because he was there at the same place before, and is about how he, like, rescued a dog, and it was a firehouse dog, and that reminds him of a fire hose. And that's how they come up with that plan. Even if he did remember that story just spontaneously, alright, I'm willing to accept that it could happen, but why would he bother to tell the whole fucking story? He could have just said, hey, dude, let's go get a fire hose and spray these fucking birds. Instead, he goes on this fucking rant about Rufus the firehouse dog.
Rufus.
It would have been just as random if they had just driven by a fire station and they'd seen it and it'd been like, oh, hey, fire hose. That actually makes more sense than him just spontaneously thinking of his story and then telling the whole story. But of course, it's just another excuse for people to tell stories about themselves because that's what everyone in this show loves to do.
When I was a little boy.
No.
We found a small
Shut up, you fucking asshole.
Yes, it was
God.
as beautiful as we had hoped.
Just get to the point.
What now?
There it is.
You have no idea who I am or what I am capable of.
You work for Raiden Global. That is all we need to know.
Then you are making a mistake.
No, we're not. You're the one making a mistake. So we've got nothing to lose.
Really, you've got nothing to lose. No one on your team has anything to lose? Not even, like, the scientist guy, his daughter, and his ex-wife, or the French lady with her sister? No? Not important?
I will kill you.
I have no doubt you would. But right now, the only way to help poor Natalie is if you tell me where the rest of your team is.
All of this is my fault.
Oh, hey, this is not your fault, Chloe.
Yes, it is.
No, it isn't.
Yes, it is. Oh my god. Stop coddling her. She needs some real talk. She needs someone to be like, hey, you suck at your job.
Might have been nice if you or your boss would have told us that our field leader has no field experience.
Oh, I guess someone already did
I'm
that.
entirely qualified for whatever we may encounter while carrying out this mission.
And she just got mad. So, you know, fuck her. She's the worst.
How am I supposed to trust my instincts again?
I don't know. You just do.
Oh yeah, now everyone stop and turn around and look at the police car when you hear the siren. That's not suspicious. Aren't these people fucking fugitives? Didn't they murder an FBI agent or a fake FBI agent who was secretly a corporate agent who was working for the corporation that controls the government? So basically just still a regular FBI agent. She's got fucking like sunglasses and a hat on? You couldn't spring for a wig or some hair dye? So the scene actually happens twice. It happens at the end of episode 8 and at the beginning of episode 9. The thing is, they're not exactly the same scene. Like, they're cut very slightly differently. The timing is just a little bit off, and they used slightly different like takes for some of the shots, which I don't know why they would do that, because the end result is almost identical anyway. They might as well have just pasted in the same scene, unless it kind of seems like they felt bad for repeating this whole scene, so they tried to like compensate for it with different takes. Stupid.
Please.
Oh wait, he didn't say please that time.
The mother cell. Please. The mother cell.
Like, they have a recap at the beginning of the episode anyway, and then that scene plays again at the beginning of episode 9, plays again immediately after the recap. Like, was the Raiden CEO's dialogue about the treatment procedure like so compelling that they needed to play that whole scene again? They could have just cut it down to 2 lines as part of the recap.
There should be more than enough here to help your daughter.
And then started the scene where it left off in the last episode. Or if having the scene intact was like so integral to the artistic vision of Zoo, then they just shouldn't have done the cheesy cliffhanger thing at all. I'm gonna take this along with the flash forward teaser at the beginning of episode 7 as another sign of how fucking desperate the show is to trick you into watching it. I think the scene was written to take place as one scene at the beginning of episode 9, but then they just took like the first half of that scene and tacked it on the end of episode 8, and their plan was to take advantage of the week between episodes to create the illusion of an interesting plot by just not telling you what happened and creating like prolonged curiosity in the hope that that would develop into actual interest. But the problem was that they couldn't cut the scene out of episode 9 because then it wouldn't have been long enough. So they just changed a few of the shots around, so maybe they thought I wouldn't notice. But I did notice.